My name is Victoria Winters. Soon the sun will set on Collinwood, and the night, in its inexorable journey across the land, will plunge the ancient house into darkness. A darkness of the spirit, a darkness of the mind, a darkness of the will. And it will seem at times that light and truth have been banished forever, leaving behind the desperation and fear of people who do not know what the darkness holds.
Very soon, you're going to regret being here. You're going to regret being here very much.
The part of Burke Devlin is being played by Anthony George.
Pick up that book. I said pick up that book.
Let go of me.
I will when you agree to pick up that book. Now hand it to me. Well, did you find it interesting reading?
I didn't read any of it. I have to go.
I suppose you think it's a diary, a chronicle of my every act for the last 20 years.
Maybe.
I suppose you expected to find something in here that would prevent me from marrying your mother this evening.
I don't know if it's written in that book, Jason, but I know it exists.
Oh? And if it does exist, do you think I'm fool enough to write it down? Come on now, Carolyn. You must give me credit for more intelligence than that.
I don't give you credit for being anything but a fake.
Well, now that, I'm afraid, is a major mistake. Because as you now know, I am only all too real. And for an example, my marriage to your mother this evening will be quite real.
No, it won't be. Because you'll be forcing her into it.
And the fact that she will be Mrs. Jason McGuire will also be quite real.
Don't make me sick.
And my prerogatives as her husband will also be quite real, and I intend to exercise them to the fullest.
We'll see about that.
Ah, yes, we will. Would you like a little sampling of it right now?
What do you mean?
Well, now, I expected you to be married today to the worthy Mr. Buzz.
It's no business of yours whether I do or don't.
Ah, but it is, Carolyn.
I fail to see how.
Because I expect you to get married and leave Collinwood.
Are you telling me to leave my own house?
I'm telling you to leave my house.
Yours?
Exactly.
This house belongs to my mother.
This house belongs to Mrs. McGuire, and I am Mr. McGuire. And I'm telling you in so many words to get out. Now, is that clear enough?
I will not be thrown out of my own house.
I'm afraid it's a little bit late for you to have a voice in the decision.
We'll see about that.
Now, Just how long did you think you could push me around? Ever since I got here, I've had nothing out of you. Nothing but insults and insinuations.
And all of it deserved.
I've done my best to get along with you.
The only way we can get along is for you to leave.
Yes, for one of us to leave, and I'm afraid you're elected. Now I want you out of this house tonight.
Tonight?
Yes. And don't make the mistake of not taking me seriously.
What will you do if I don't go?
Why, then I'll ask Mrs. McGuire to make the request personally.
She'd never do it.
No. You thought she'd never allow me into Collinwood, didn't you? And yet I'm here. And then you thought she'd never marry me, didn't you? But she is. You think she won't ask you to leave? How ridiculous.
I know she wouldn't.
Because of her love and loyalty to me, she can deny me nothing.
Love!
Yes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must straighten out my things. And then I must dress. Because I'm getting married, you know.
Jason, that will never happen.
Stick around for a few hours. Oh, meanwhile, you might utilize the time to pack up your own things. And now, will you excuse me? I do need a moment. Alone. So that I can contemplate the happiness I have to look forward to. Oh, and Carolyn. By the way, no doubt the wedding will be too moving for words. So I'll say it now.
Say what?
Goodbye.
Where's everybody? Don't they know this is an international holiday? This evening, Mrs. Elizabeth Collins Stoddard of Collinsport is going to marry Mr. Jason McGuire of Nowhere. Why isn't everybody out celebrating?
Why don't you go home, Miss Stoddard? Don't you think you've had enough to drink?
Home. What's that? Finally, here's somebody. Oh, it's you.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for my husband.
Oh, no. Don't tell me you married that creep.
Not yet. But stick around.
Come on. I'm gonna get you out of here.
That's what you think. And don't argue with me. I'm not in the mood for it.
Okay?
Hey, where are you going? Keep me a little company, can't you?
Not unless I can take you somewhere else and get you some coffee.
I told you I can't leave. I'm an about-to-be bride, waiting for my about-to-be groom.
So you're really gonna do it, huh?
I said I would, didn't I?
Yeah, but I wasn't sure I believed you.
My mother didn't believe me either. She got another thing coming. Thinks he can get rid of me.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Okay, have it your way.
She probably thinks the same thing, too.
What?
I said she wants to get rid of me.
Who?
My mother.
3 seconds ago, you said she didn't think you'd go through with it.
Don't confuse me. But they both think they can get me out.
Carolyn, I thought you were the one that wanted out.
How can she do this to me? He's probably really the one that's making her do it. If it weren't for him, none of this would be happening.
Carolyn, you gotta try not to get so mad at everything.
Mad? Who's mad? Unless you mean crazy mad. I think that's where I'll go for my honeymoon. I think I'll go crazy. Let me have another.
You don't need another one.
Don't tell me what I need. I am not going to let him do this to me. I am not.
Look, Carolyn, if it's McGuire you're talking about, there's nothing you can do.
Isn't there?
As a matter of fact, you're marrying that creep Buzz would probably satisfy McGuire more than anything else.
Maybe I won't marry Buzz after all.
You mean that?
Maybe there's something else I can do.
Wait a minute, I'll go with you.
No, I'm all right.
You're not all right.
Yes, I am. For the first time in a long time.
I don't know where you're going, but I'm taking you there.
All right. To Collinwood, please. I hear they're having a wedding.
Is there anything else that I can do?
There's nothing else to do. Oh, wait. On the bureau, there's a handkerchief. May I have it, please?
It's lovely.
It was my grandmother's. She had it at her wedding. And she gave it to my mother, and my mother gave it to me. Put it away.
You don't want it?
It's only supposed to be used for weddings. And this can hardly be called a wedding.
I understand.
I had it the day I married Paul Stoddard. I was so happy. I loved him so much. At least I thought I did. The life we were going to have together. I was so happy, Vicky. But that wasn't much of a wedding either. Or rather, much of a marriage.
Don't think about it.
Oh, I wish I didn't have any thoughts at all. I wish my mind were a blank. Free of thought, free of feeling. Just empty.
It doesn't work that way. The less one tries to think of something, the more it seems to take over.
I know. Maybe I'll just go mad, and that'll be the answer to everything.
Please don't say that.
Oh, it would be a mercy, wouldn't it? Just no mind at all, nothingness.
Please, Mrs. Stoddard.
Don't worry. I don't deserve it. Mercy.
It's still not too late to call off the wedding, you know.
It was too late the day I met Paul. It was too late the day I married him. It was too late the day I killed him. Put the handkerchief away. Or maybe I should throw it away.
Throw it away.
Who will use it now? Carolyn, at her wedding?
Maybe someday someone will.
Oh, Vicky, where is she?
I don't know.
She's not going to marry that man, is she?
I don't know.
Isn't it enough that I ruined my life? Why did I have to ruin hers?
The marriage can be annulled.
It's not that easy. It's not that easy to be free. It was that way with Paul. I was never free of him. Even when I found out the kind of a man he was, I was never free. Never for 1 minute. of one night or one day. Why didn't you let me die?
I couldn't do that.
You go downstairs now.
I'd rather wait and go with you.
Please. I want to be alone for a few minutes.
All right.
I find it a curious invitation.
It's a curious wedding.
It should give you a great deal of satisfaction.
Why do you say that?
It is not a secret that this isn't a particularly felicitous occasion for the Collins family.
And you think I'm here to revel in it, huh?
Well, aren't you?
No. He's here because I invited him. Glad you accepted. Join me. Mr. Devlin, Roger.
No, thank you.
Well, now, gentlemen, this is supposed to be a joyous occasion. Well, whatever you say. I wonder what's keeping the judge. I hope he won't be late.
Am I early?
Carolyn, I thought you'd gone out.
I'm back.
Well, your mother would be happy to see you. As, of course, I am.
I didn't know there would be anyone outside the family.
Mr. Devlin is here because I invited him. He seems to persist in the notion that the wedding will not take place, and I thought this was one way of convincing him.
I certainly hope so.
Ah, the judge. That means we can start on time. I'm sure you will have other plans later on.
Yes, I have plans.
Good evening. Well, I see we're almost all assembled. Roger.
How are you, Judge?
I'm fine, thank you. We haven't seen you at the club lately. And this must be the groom.
Yes.
A pleasure, Mr. McGuire.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do? Devlin, I didn't expect to see you.
Oh, I stray from the straight and narrow every once in a while.
Yes. Hello, Carolyn.
Hello.
How pretty you have grown.
Thank you.
Well, where is the bride? Where is my dear Elizabeth?
She'll be right down.
Now, you must be Miss Winters.
Yes, how do you do?
Fine, thank you. And I must not leave without getting your signature as witness. We want this to be legal, don't we?
Yes.
Can I offer you a drink, Judge?
Oh, thank you.
Carol.
Not until after the ceremony.
Well, don't look so surprised, Vicky. You don't think I'd miss my mother's wedding? No, of course not.
Vicky, are you sure that Liz doesn't want you to help her with something?
She wanted me to tell everyone that she'd be down in a minute.
And what a beautiful bride she will be. I remember when she married Paul Stoddard in this very room. People gasped when she came through the door. She was so beautiful. And she still is. Oh, there was a fine crowd here that day. And not a murmur among them as they stood looking toward the door, waiting. Elizabeth.
I'm sorry if I've kept you all waiting.
Merely for 20 years, my dear, and it was worth every one of them. Don't you think so, Judge?
I have thought so for years.
Carolyn,
Hello, Mother.
I'm so glad you could be here.
I knew you would be.
Burke, I see you decided to come.
Yes.
We may as well start.
Yes, I think we may as well. You join me, Elizabeth. Judge, where do you want us to stand?
Well, since this is an informal wedding, we will eliminate the preliminaries. If you would two will stand in front of me. Here.
Right. Oh, dear.
If you can stand by me.
I'll ask the usual questions, and you'll give the usual answers. Then, Jason, you'll slip on the ring, and after a few minutes, it'll all be over.
Ah, no. It'll be the beginning of our happiness.
Happiness.
Now, if you will just join hands. Do you, Elizabeth Stoddard, take this man, Jason McGuire, to be your lawful husband, to have and to hold, from this day forward, in sickness and in health, until death do you part?
Answer, I do, dear.
Answer?
Say simply, I do.
Liz?
I know.
Liz?
No, I can't.
Leave her alone.
Wait. Elizabeth, what is it?
I killed Paul Stoddard. And that man was my accomplice.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.